Hey everybody, Essence here, and today I wanted to talk to you about anger, embracing and understanding your anger. So I had someone ask me a question about anger and I responded, but I feel like this could benefit others as well. And if you're not experiencing anger, you could really substitute what I'm saying for whatever that emotion is that keeps coming back up for you, whether it's sadness, frustration, resentment, abandonment. If those things continue to come up, I'm pretty sure that this message will apply as well. So, so often I see people experiencing anger and then they're like, where is this anger coming from? I'm not an angry person. I'm not mad at anything. I'm not mad about anything. And so from my own experience, I got to see that years ago, whenever I would get, not whenever, but sometimes when I would get drunk, I would get really angry and be ready to fight. And then it's kind of like the next day, like, where is that coming from? And so I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm not really mad about anything. Why does this anger continue to come up? And so, what I learned in my own life and from working with other people is that the anger is really coming from a deep rooted issue, from a deep seated place. It's not necessarily about what happened yesterday or about what happened last week. It might be about what happened 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It is about what you suppress, what you said you're not going to be mad about, or what you're not thinking about. Is that stuff that we suppress that it is when it's ready to be dealt with, it starts coming up to the surface. It starts coming up to the surface. And so for me, it was my daddy stuff, working through my father issues, the idea of me being unlovable and me feeling abandoned. It was like all of that stuff wanting to come up to the surface that I wasn't really like making space to deal with. It would come up when I was drinking. I would cry a lot when I was drinking, and then again, that rage. And so you may think that, oh, I'm not angry about that anymore. I'm not angry at my mom, or I'm not angry at my dad. I'm not angry about what they did to me years ago. And this is what I say to people: you may not be angry, but the you that experienced that 10, 15, 30 years ago is pissed off. So the me, my inner child that experienced her dad not being there and feeling abandoned, she was still angry and upset, and it needed to be expressed. It needed to come out. And so it did, right? And I, again, was clueless as to where it was coming from. And then I see this with people that I've worked with. Oh, well, I've forgiven my mom for, what she did, or I forgive my dad for leaving. But then when we dive into it, the anger comes up. Their inner child expresses and speaks through them, and they get to experience that rage and that anger in a very constructive way and just allow that release. So if something keeps coming to the surface over and over again, that's a clear sign that there's something you're not looking at, there's something you're not dealing with. And so one thing that you could do is to just do an exercise and write down. So whatever the emotion is write down. Sorry, getting into some sun here. Write down all of the things that have made you feel that way, or all of the people. So every time I felt abandoned, or this person felt abandoned, or I was angry when this happened, that happened, and just really start journaling and getting clear about the times when you felt those emotions. And then the next thing, as you're looking at those things that you've journaled about, then ask yourself, close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, which of these things are ready to be dealt with? Right? What do I need to look at? What do I need to know? What do I need to understand? and just spend this time with yourself, getting clear on what wants to come up and be looked at and be healed. Because the more you keep pushing it under the surface and pushing it under the surface, it's just gonna explode at some point in a way that could really get you maybe even into some trouble, especially if it's anger, like outbursts of anger. Like you could, easily get mad at work, just get triggered and just explode, and then you don't have a job anymore. I mean, that actually happened to me back when I was drinking and dancing, and I just went into a rage and got into a fight, and then I didn't woke up the next day and I didn't have a job anymore, and I didn't even really know, like, where did that anger come from. So, just wanted to share this with you. Hope that this helps. Think of your feelings as little messengers, not as pests. Think of them as the channels that connect you with your inner child, and just listen to see what their message is. All right. Talk to you guys later. I would love to hear in the comments if this helped you in any way. And also, feel free to inbox me any questions you might have so I can make a video for you.